Finding a neat old muscle car in a barn is cool, but finding a muscle car with insanely low miles that was hand-built by one of the legends in Chevrolet performance, well, that's what we have on Muscle Car of the Week. Some muscle cars are really cool because they came with high performance options from the factory, like the Z28 package or the SS Chevelles or things like that. But there are a few other muscle cars that might not have been born with all the high performance stuff, but that went to a different shop before being sold to the public where cooler parts were added. And that's the case we have with this 1970 Camaro. This forest green car was originally built by Chevrolet with a 350 V8 under the hood, which is not really that spectacular for performance. But before it got sold to its first new owner, it visited the Dick Harrell Performance Center in Kansas City. And the Dick Harrell Performance Center was a place where conversions of different engines and higher performance parts were added to select muscle cars before they were sold to the public, which offered people a choice to buy something that they couldn't get directly from GM. They couldn't buy a 1970 Camaro with a 454, for example. But the Dick Harrell Performance Center was able to make that happen. And the cool thing is that Dick Harrell was known as Mr. Chevrolet, and eventually became a very famous drag racer throughout the 60s, but he was also a brilliant mechanic, and he developed a lot of the high performance packages that went into race cars and cars you could buy for the street. And his history is fascinating, and he liked to build lightweight cars with big engines, and he competed and set records in the AHRA and NHRA, and was very well known. So much so that when the new 1967 Chevrolet Camaro came out, the dealership in Chicago called Nicky Chevrolet contacted him, and they said, hey, do you think you can come up with a way to install 427s in these things that we can sell to our customers at Nicky Chevrolet? And he did that. He developed that kit, and it's, widely known to be one of the earliest 427 installs in a Camaro was done by Dick Harrell. And he worked with all the big names. He worked with Yanko Chevrolet and also with Fred Gibb. And in fact, the very first ZL1 Camaro, which we had featured on Muscle Car of the Week, has Dick Harrell's name right on the side of it. He worked with Fred Gibb to put that car together. The heart of the Dick Harrell Performance Center conversion is this 454 cubic inch V8. Now it's an Ls6 V8 which was installed by that Dick Harrell Performance Center. They also added some large diameter headers, special turbo 400 transmission, and right now the car has 4 88-to-1 rear gears. I think the evidence says they're unclear if he put those gears in or if somebody else did, but we do know that this is perhaps the only one left in existence today. Just a truly remarkable special car that still performs like it did before it left racing use back in 1974. The Ls6 V8 is a 450 horsepower V8 engine that you could get in the Chevelle and in a Corvette, but not in the Camaro. It made this thing a really, really strong performer. It's coupled to a CY-coated turbo 400 transmission and also has a 12-bolt rear end with 488 gears in it. So it was all about getting down the track at high speed. The more I look at this car, the more I like it. And it's kind of funny because some of the kind of dealers' supercars from back in the day had additional stripes or body modifications or things that just didn't really go well with the car. But the look of this thing, I think, is right on. The medium dark green with kind of the cream stripe outlined in a little green pinstripe, the gold Kelsey aluminum wheels. I mean, this is stuff you never see, and it looks like it was just done. The condition looks fantastic, and that's because this car right now only has 6,000 miles on it, and as you see it, it is unrestored. It's just amazing. In this case, this is believed to be the only Dick Harrell 1970 Camaro that remains. In our research, we've heard that there were 3 of them built for drag racing use and 3 of them built for the street, and this might have been one of the 3 street cars. We've also heard that there was only 3 altogether. and this is just one of the three. The key to its authenticity is often the documentation, and this car has a lot of documentation to authenticate it as being real. They have the GM Protecto plate, which was the little card that you would take to the dealer when you had work done on the car for warranty purposes. There's an original title application showing the original owner's name, and a whole bunch more paperwork that remains with the car today. So at any rate, the car is super, super rare. It's got an awesome history, not only because it is a Dick Harrell car, but for the fact that it was bought new. It was raced throughout 1971, 2, and 3. And from what we can tell, the owner of the car, who had it in 1974, went to Vietnam and put the car in a barn where it sat for years and years and years and years and years. And when it resurfaced in 2003, it really didn't need much. It just kind of needed a bath and a little bit of a tune-up, because it only has 6,000 miles on it. So another part of this car that makes it so cool is that it is a time capsule. It's all original to what it was when the Dick Harrell Performance Center finished it, all the way down to the Kelsey Hayes stripper gold-colored wheels, the Firestone tires. Everything under the hood is, you know, what it's supposed to have. It had a different hood for a little while, a Pro Stock style hood while it was being raced, but the original hood was kept with the car, and that's back on it now. So it's just a really amazing historical muscle car, and it still happens to run really, really strong.
I told you.
We're really lucky to be able to see cars like this up close in person in the Brothers collection. And we have more pictures for you to check out on our website at MuscleCarOfTheWeek.com. And if you see something you like there, you can share it on the Facebook page. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Muscle Car of the Week.